Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembea survives a brutal attack shortly after arriving at Kabuchai. All this transpired shortly after he accused Speaker Moses Wetangula of practicing violence. Welcome back to our channel. Press the subscribe button for more news bulletins on Real News, the channel where you get all you trending politics. Now, how did Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembea survive a brutal assassination attempt? Let us dive into it. Moments after Natembea had addressed the residents of Kabuchai, accusing Wetangula of using force and trying to liberate the residents by telling them to stand firm and stand their ground with no fear. Barely finishing the sentence, the first shot sounded, with supporters running for their lives. Now, Kabuchai has been considered Speaker Moses Wetangula's home, and definitely he doesn't want any intruders, hence the message of tear gas and guns to stop the Tawe movement. Why the chaos? The by-elections.
Your leader in the National Assembly is the one doing this thing. Sending fools to come and destroy the home of a member of the National Assembly. Because they do not belong to the same political party. But because they are different political parties. We were the vote for the country. Second liberation. Even the first one. Mheshimiwa mwenyewe, all member of parliament cannot be served at his own home. So which can I say? Na pale kwa mkutano umetupigia risasi live ammunition. Na marisasi na kwa bomba ya. Ndio karibu nimalize na risasi. Ndio kama mwanaume atakuenda mwanaume hata siku ndio chini. Tunaonana muundo kwa muundo. But you can't hide behind the government to harass your country. People should be the safest of all to go to school. But angalia kuna gani kwa Somalia. Hii nyumba ya mheshimiwa hii.
Majimbo Karasinga, once an ally of Speaker Moses Wetangula, has broken off to support Eric Wekesa, and this has fueled tension.
Wala ambao mnaenda mnaongea na Wetangula, enda ambia Wetangula kwamba Natembea amepigana na majangili Rift Valley. Amepigana na majangili Isiolo. Amepigana na watu ambao wanabeba bomu. Asiniletee watoto kuja kunipiga mimi na mipini. Mwambie yeye blood faction. Mwambie yeye kumbavu. Sema Wetangula kumbavu. Mwambie yeye shenzi. Mwambie awache ujinga. Awache ujinga. Wangu bwana sema Wetangula awache ujinga, wacha nione. Yeye ni speaker wa National Assembly. Yeye ndiye anachea mkutano wa bunge wote katika taifa la Kenya wakiunda sheria, si ndio? Yeye anatakana kuwa mtu wa kwanza ku respect sheria. Hawezi kuwa mtu wa kwanza kuvunja sheria, si ndio? Na kama IEBC wako independent, ile tendo ambayo imefanyika leo kule Mkweya, lazima yule candidate wa Ford Kenya akuwe disqualified. Hapo ndio utajua kwa ukweli kwamba Kenya hii is governed by the rule of law, si ndio? Bandu wewe twende. Mambo lile bula hii.
George Natembea, the Trans Nzoia governor, is actually campaigning against poor leadership, lack of development, stagnation under the rule of Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi.
Munga, umaskini, mapendeleo, ukabila, UDA, dakwa, wizi wa kura.
Now, why do you think Speaker Moses Wetangula is afraid of George Natembea, the Trans Nzoia governor, to an extent that he had to hire guns to stop Natembea from expanding the Tawe movement in Kabuchai, his own hometown? Now, before we continue, I'd like to thank our die-hard supporters for continuously growing our channel. We wouldn't be where we are without your support. And if it's your first time to listen in, press that subscribe button and ring your notification bell so that you can be fast to receive our bulletins once we upload them. Now, back to the chaotic scenes and assassination attempts on Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembea, who was there to support the independent candidate Eric Wekesa. Moments after accusing Speaker Moses Wetangula of engineering political violence in Kabuchai, Natembea's rally faced a chaotic gunfire, tear gas lobbed into them, chaotic scenes, vehicles totally vandalized. Why play intimidative politics? Is Wetangula that threatened by Natembea to an extent that he had to hire guns to actually assassinate Natembea? Well, being his hometown, what do you expect? Definitely conclusions come to it that it is Moses Wetangula that sent the guns, because Kabuchai is one of Wetangula's home grounds. Can we look at some of the reasons why George Natembea faced a chaotic scene at Kabuchai, which is one of the hometowns of Speaker Moses Wetangula? For long we know Moses Wetangula and Natembea are not in the same parts. They rebel like unlike poles. And we all know that Natembea has this political party, the Tawe movement, that rejects political stagnation, violence, criticizes the government of all its shortcomings, and he has taken over almost the whole of Western because he is singing one song, Tawe. Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi lost the popularity on the ground, so definitely he had to threaten Natembea not to occupy his home area. This is a direct threat. I mean, who uses threat for politics? A whole Speaker of the National Assembly. Interesting politics. So was he just trying to threaten Natembea, or he was actually taking the shot at Natembea? Because we had the first gunshot and we had a second gunshot and several other shots which dispersed the whole crowd who were running, scampering for their safety due to a lot of tear gas and the insecurities. But can Natembea be stopped by the tear gas, canisters and live bullets? Was this a way to stop Natembea from supporting the independent candidate from the by-elections? Why would a whole Speaker of the National Assembly hire guns into attacking the Trans Nzoia governor, George Natembea? Is it a political strategy to secure his home grounds where the by-elections are going to be held? Rather, a political strategy to threaten George Natembea, the fierce Trans Nzoia governor, and the famous Tawe movement. Natembea is clearly campaigning against poor leadership and political stagnation.
Mimi nimekuwa nalilia uhuru wa mtu ambaye anaitwa Muluya aondoe kwenye minyororo ya umaskini. Mwenyezi Mungu ametupatia nafasi watu wa Kabuchai kuonyesha heshima ya Muluya tarehe 27. Mimi niko kule kwa meza Nairobi, waniambia Natembea, waje tuone kama utashinda Malaba, kama utashinda Kabuchai. Mkishinda huku mimi nitakuwa rais wa Kenya. Lakini mwamba jizo ni zamani lile. Mimi nimewaambia niko na watu milioni 6. Wameniatimbia Natembea Waluya wanato kugawanyika. Tuonyeshe kama utaleta kiti ya Kabuchai. Wangapi watapigia Eric kura nione kwa mikono? Eric. Bandu befwe. Kunende jukumu mbovu sana. Watu wa Kabuchai muko na jukumu kubwa, ila mjawahi kuwa naye katika maisha yenu tena. Kama uko na kitambulisho, amuka asubuhi uende upige kura ya kukomboa mtu anaitwa Muluya. Tumeelewana watu yangu?
Is it about the by-elections, or it is the fight for dominance who will control the Western region? is Speaker Moses Wetangula threatened by George Natembea and his Dawe movement to an extent of hiring goons to sabotage George Natembea's political support for the independent candidate? Why did Speaker Moses Wetangula hire goons to threaten Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembea? Well, leave me your views on the comment section. Subscribe to Real News, the channel where you get all your trending politics. In case it's your first time to listen into Real News, press the subscribe button and ring your notification bell so that you can be first to receive the news bulletins once we upload them. Until then, GD Ishmaels.